Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So today I have for you our latest create and make, and this is definitely one that you need to purchase. So I'm going to put the links in the description below, so please go use my links. They are affiliate links, they don't cost you anything extra whatsoever to use. Go and purchase it and then come back and watch the video because you really don't want to miss this. It's very similar to the hat box that we did, but this one is a more square shape, whereas the hat box was a more rounded shape. So this create and make it is called the Chapeau Box, and it has 28 dies. It comes in your plastic sleeve and on a magnetic sheet, and look how jam-packed this die set is. Now just to quickly go through what we have here, so we have these two rounded cornered squares. One will be for your lid and one will be for your base. All this here is to create a blousey bow. This piece here is your side panel for the lid. This large rectangle here with the semicircle tabs and these two sharp teeth and the three semicircle tabs, these are your side panels for your base. We also have this rounded corner here just to kind of bring the box in and to give it a bit more stability. And these pieces here are your mats and your layers for your ribbon that goes around your box. We have got a few flowers and a leaf in this. We've got a few banners or tags, and this one says just for you. So hopefully and this little square here is the center of your square that goes in the middle where you put your blousey bow together. So hopefully this all makes sense. Let's put one together. I've not actually played with this yet, so this is the first time I'll be putting one together. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes all right. I have got a video for the hat box. I will also link that in the description below so you can get a rough idea of what these boxes look like. But I just absolutely love the fact that we've now got a square one to complement our rounded one. So let me put these to one side and we are going to make one of these. I have got my fan on in the background as well because it is very warm this weekend. It is Saturday, is it 14th? 15th? Yeah, 14th today. So I am filming this a couple of weeks before it is going to be released on the Tonic Studio website. So for this then, what you will need is two of the larger squares and two of your smaller squares. I've cut those out in this cardstock. At first I wasn't sure what the GSM was to this, but this is from my own stash, and this is, I believe it's about a 280 GSM, so it is quite thick, or it might be 260 actually. It is quite thick cardstock, but I think for your base and your lid you need something a bit more substantial and sturdy. You also need 4 of these panels here. I've cut mine in Ballet Pink 216 GSM because I need the flexibility to place the corners. Anything that has a curve, I do recommend you use 216 GSM. Now, this box doesn't have any panels for you to mat and layer, so I have cut a piece out using the vignettes papers from Tonic Studios because I thought that goes really nicely, and I've basically cut it small enough so there's a nice even border all the way round. So you can measure up and see how big you want your piece to be. So that's basically what I've done here. So you need 4 of the panels to create your base, and then for the lid you need to cut out, let me just show you on this one, you need to cut out 8 of these. 4 of these you're going to cut the semicircle tabs off, and the other 4 you leave the tabs on. But again, because it doesn't have a layering piece, I've cut thin pieces out of that patterned paper, and I've just glued those on to my panels here. So you will need 8 in total, 4 without any semicircle tabs and 4 with. Now we move on to the bow. Now I just want to show you, I have actually made the largest bow and it looks like this. Let me just bring the die set back in and I can show you. So you have this really large one here that has tabs, triangular tabs at either end. So I've used 4 of those. I've put some patterned paper on using this piece here, the second one down. So that's what I've used on the pattern paper. I thought if I make one, I can show you how to do the other one. With the second one, which is here, and again, so for the larger bow you need 4 pieces, and I'm using 4 of these pieces. So this is the decorative panel piece, the next size down. So I'm using that for my second bow, which I'm going to attach to my larger one, and I'm using the smallest die here as my decorative panel to go on there, just to give it a bit of a colour pop. So we've got that. Now, with regards to the box as well, where I showed you the rounded corner, you will need to cut 8 of these pieces, 1 to go on the bottom, 1 to go on the top of each rounded corner, just to give it some durability and some stability for the box to open and close. So you need 8 of those. I have also cut out for the ribbons, you need 4 of these pieces. I've already attached my decorative element on, so I've got 4 of the pieces with the pointed edge here, and then I've got 4 of the pieces with the rounded edge here. So I've attached my decorative panels on, and then for the pieces that go on the side of your lid panel, you need 4 of these. So what I've done, I've also cut out 4 of the lace panels here, which I have already attached. As you can see, I've already attached it to my panels. Usually I don't add my decorative papers on before I've glued it down, but there is a reason why I've done it like this, and I'll go into that a bit more when I start to put this together. So again, we need 4 of these pieces. And the last couple of things then is I've cut 2 of the tags out. Now this larger tag doesn't have a matte and layer, so what I've done is I've cut it out in ballet pink, and then I've cut it out in platinum rose. Yes, platinum rose. And what I've done is I've just basically cut off the edge around that tag, so I could matte and layer it. And again, this has got a little hole in it as well, so if you wanted to thread a little bit of ribbon through it, you can do. So I've cut both the tags out for that. Now, I'm not using any of the flowers in this one because I wanted to showcase the vignette papers and the lace a bit more than showcasing the flowers. Normally, you know me, I love my flowers. and I'm all about the flowers, but for this make I'm leaving it as is. So I'm just going to move everything out of the way, and I'm going to bring in my 2 smaller panels. Let's move the larger ones out of the way. And I am going to be using Nouveau Deluxe. My one is in a state, but I always use Nouveau Deluxe because it is the most sturdiest that I have found. Like, it's brilliant. The glue is brilliant, and since I've put the precision nozzle on, I hardly use any glue. So what you do need to do is give your panel a nice curve. Let me just bring in my precision tool. Give your panel a nice curve. Now what you are going to notice is the glue tab is the tiniest glue tab, and the reason why it's the tiniest glue tab is because if we look at this die set, it is jam packed, and it's touching from side to side against that smaller square panel. So they've given us less of a tab, but you can create a tab. It's not an issue. You know, you can cut a slither of card if you find you have any issues with it. But see how you get on. If you find that you're not getting on great, just cut a piece of card, or you can use one of these inner panels here, and attach that to give yourself an extra bit of length if you wanted to. But it's so jam-packed, Tonic would not have been able to give us this die set if they hadn't reduced that tab down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, as mentioned, I've curved my panels. Just going to go ahead and press all my tabs in. Now you will know from previous makes that I've done, anything that I do with curves on, I make sure when I push those tabs in, push them all the way down. And I'm going to go in. I don't normally use a precision tool on rounded tabs, but I will for this one because it's a very snug fit. So I'm going to go ahead and give those a good burnish. I'm going to do the same on these top ones here, like so. And again, I'm going to go in and give those a really good burnish, like so. I've got my decorative panel here. As mentioned, I have just cut a piece that is slightly smaller in size. I'm going to give that a nice curve with my precision tool, and then I'm going in with my Nouveau Deluxe, and I'm going to apply glue. I'm going to do it right to the edge. Goodness me, it is so warm today. I've been at work this morning, and it was lovely this morning. There was a lovely breeze. I know we've had quite a lot of rain overnight. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and place this, leaving a nice even border. Okay, so I'm going to press that down. And then what I'm going to do is get my laced panel, and I'm just going to apply dots of glue all over it. Let me do it over this. It's so hard to see it because it's against the white glass mat. So I'm just putting dots of glue all over it. Want to make sure I put some around the edges here. And then I'm just going to place this. This is not the same length as my patterned paper, but I'm just going to place that centrally like that and press that down. I'm just going to give that a second to dry as well and grab onto that cardstock, because what I want to do is make sure I'm giving my panel a curve at the same time. So there we go. Okay, right, so if I bring the die back in, I just want to show you something. On the smaller square, there are slight notches, indentation marks on the die on each side. These are the central markers, so you can stick your panels on. Now I'm going to try and be clever with this. Well, I'm going to try. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but I'm going to try. So what I'm going to do is apply glue. I'm going to stick them on one by one. I think the instructions say to stick all the panels on together, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick them on one by one because I like to have room to maneuver panels if I needed to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, this tab up, that very first tab. I'm going to line that up with that marker on that base, and I'm going to press that first one down. Just going to let that grab first. So she says, let's try that again. There. Oh, moved. Okay. I'm going to let that grab. Once that one has grabbed, because I've got so many layers on now on my card, it might be a bit more difficult. So I'm pushing against my cardstock and I'm pressing from the inside. And then I'm going to basically work my way around to this side here. And then I'm going to press that down. Again, pushing from the outside here. Okay, it's really important that you make sure those end ones grab really well. So I think my one's grabbed okay. Yep, it looks like my one's grabbed really nicely. So that one is done. I'm going to bring in my next one, and again I'm going to give that a nice curve in between both hands. I am then going to apply glue to all my semicircle tabs. So, and I want to be able to measure to see because I think my panel might be a tad short. So, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm going to apply glue here. And then I am going to be quite honest, it doesn't really matter if I don't attach this part on just yet, because I'm going to get it covered anyway. So I'm going to concentrate on gluing my semicircle tabs down first. Get that around here. We just need that slither because our ribbon, and you'll see what I do with it. So I'm just going to hold that, pushing that panel in, like so. And then I'm going to go back to this piece here and then just press that down just gently. And at this point, you'll get one of these, and you're just going to go ahead and you're going to cover up your workings anyway. So you're just going to basically place that on there. So I am going to apply glue. Do need to actually fold that tab as well. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. Let that one grab. And then press that down. Like so. So you're kind of attaching everything as you go. So we're going to do the same again. I absolutely love, you know me, I love pink anyway, but I absolutely love this paper as well. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, so now we've got our base done. We've got all our panels stuck down. Just make sure all those bits are stuck down as well. What I want to now try and do is secure these bits here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, if I open Actually, it might be better if I do it from the top first. Yeah, I think it's better if I do it from the top. So I'm going to apply glue to all these tabs here. And then it meets from one edge to the other side. So if you place your tab like so, you're basically, you're just going to basically work around it. And that's how it's going to pinch in. So you can use mini pegs if you wanted to. That might help. Bring it in slightly. Oh, right, let's just do that bit again. Just be patient and let those tabs grab like so. And I'm also going to go ahead and apply glue to this whole piece here and glue this underneath. So that needs to then get placed underneath there. So this bit, what I might do is I'll speed this bit up because you've seen me just do that, so you don't need to see me do that all over again. So I'll speed this bit up. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to attach my base, and I'm only attaching this right at the end because I know I've covered everything else up. What I will say is these pieces here, when you go to glue them on, obviously you are going to have to be very patient with your glue, but please do make sure that you're using thicker cardstock. Don't use 216 GSM because you need some durability on that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and apply glue and attach my base. Tonic have really, I mean, Tonic amaze me every time with their 3D boxes, but this is like your chocolate box. So I just think it's absolutely adorable. Okay, so just pressing all that down, making sure everything is nice and neat all the way around, and then I'm going to press it from the inside. Just make sure everything adheres nicely. There we go. So you should have something that's going to look like this. Okay, so now we're going to do the lid. So let me move this out of the way for a second and bring in our lid. Now, as I've mentioned, you need 4 of these pieces. Now again, you're going to, there is no marking on the larger piece. So what you could do is use your base as a kind of guide if you wanted to kind of see where you need to place that first one. So let me just okay, so my first one I think needs to sort of go there. What I'm gonna do, just gonna give it a mark quickly. Bear with. Okay. So I've given it a mark. I think what I'm going to do is start. If I'm doing it from the inside, I just need to remember that. Yeah, okay. Because the last thing I want to do is get the wrong side on it. So applying glue. You can attach all 4 of these pieces together if you wanted to, but I generally try not to where possible, because I bear with. Okay, let's just secure that first panel. Secure that first tab there. So if there is any overhang or anything like that, it's easier to sort it at this point than it is to sort it when it's too late. And I'm not about wasting cardstock. So I know when we had the was it the Christmas boxes, Christmas collection boxes, there was a lot of waste. I know a lot of people, because there are, you know, techniques to sometimes sticking them down, and I know quite a lot of people really struggled with that one. So that's one stuck down. Then going to apply glue to this tab here. Let that go tacky for a second, and then I'm going to apply glue. Just want to check something also on this. No, that's going to go on the top. No, it's fine. I know I'm meant to attach, because I'm trying to do it so that I can work all my hide all my workings. So let's press that down, and then again working my way around. Okay, so you should have something that's going to look like this. Now at this stage I would bring in these pieces here, the smaller pieces, and attach them. So I'm just going to bring my box in because I need to measure up my box and make sure everything lines up as it should. So that's one there. Applying glue to the next one. That's the best way to line them up, by the way, and to hide all your workings. And then the next one. Hopefully that all aligns as it should. Yeah, that will do. Okay, so now what you need to do is go ahead and take your larger piece and you're going to stick this down. But before I do that, I'm going to bring in these pieces here. And again, before I line these pieces up, I'm going to attach them. So they're basically, again, all my workings are hidden. So let me do that now. I'm going to put extra glue on these sections here because I may need to maneuver these pieces a little bit more. And then I'm going to add glue to all these pieces and have them ready. Hello, Lockie. My daughter's gone to work, so Bubbles was meowing in the kitchen because she was watching her leave. Right, so this first one here, I need to place that onto there. Second piece. I will press everything down once I've kind of placed everything where it needs to go. And if it's not entirely straight, if it doesn't match up very well here, don't worry too much about that, because the bow's going to cover most of it, so you won't actually see it anyway. Oh. Yeah, my one's not even, but I'm not too fussed. Okay, so press all this down. There we go. That will do for now. But as I said, even if it doesn't match up and it's not straight there, don't worry too much about that, because you're going to have a blousy bow that's going to go in the middle and you won't even notice it. So we are coming to the end of this. Now what I've done is, obviously I've done the large bow. I'm just going to quickly bring in the smaller piece here. We did have a bear with. There was meant to be a piece here. There it is. So I'm just gonna apply glue to this piece here, which is my mirror card, and I'm just gonna place this in the center of this panel here, because it's easier to curve once you've glued it and the glue is where it's easier to curve. I'm then going to go ahead and attach a dot of glue on that corner, on the inside of that panel, and I'm just going to pinch that and let that grab. Like so. Let that dry for a second. I'm just going to quickly go ahead and add glue to these pieces here, because we are going to attach these on the inside of our box. Like so. It's just lining the inside really, and what I should have done is trimmed this one down. So let me do that now. So just go under that score line there and just trim off all those tabs, so we don't need them. So again, just going to go ahead and apply glue. What this does is, not only does it cover up your workings on the inside, but it also gives it a little bit of depth for your lid to fit onto your base. All right, let's do the next one. Right, let's do this bow. So this is going to sit in the middle, and I think I want it like this so that these pieces here, they can just slot just there like that. So should I do that first? Let's have a look and see what that is going to look like. Let's take these off for a second. I'm going to attach this first, I think. Lots of glue. Press that into the middle, and this is gonna need a bit of time to stick down. So now I'll go in and put them in between while I hold those. It hides everything anyway, you don't really see where that's going. Saving grace, I think we call that. I will press that down in a second. But I'm not going to press it too much because I'm going to let that dry for a second. And then the last thing that's left is these two tags here. Now I haven't got any ribbon to put through it, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to apply a tiny bit of glue, and I am going to stick those two together. And I need to make sure I put them in the right direction because that says just for you. I think I'm just going to have it somewhere there like that. So let's just stick that on there like that. So you can still see it says just for you. Like so. Bring in my base and hopefully this is going to fit. There we go. For a second there I was like, oh no, it's not going to fit, but it does. It's a perfect fit. So there you have it, guys. Our beautiful Chapeau box. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my goodness, that is so cute. Absolutely adorable. I absolutely love this paper and the platinum rose. I think that's so pretty. So pretty. So hopefully guys, that gives you an idea of how to put this together. I'm sorry it ended up being such a long video. please make sure you don't miss out on this, because you know how popular the hat box was. I'm going to bring in the hat box I made previously, because I do have a video for it. So if you did want to watch the video, you can do. I'm trying to get the lid on this glue. Bear with. That's the only thing about the precision nozzle. Trying to find the hole for the needle part to go in. Right, let me bring in my hat box. Look at that. Do you remember this hat box? I made this can't remember, about 9 months ago, maybe, something like that. So you could potentially use the panels on here because they look roughly the same sort of height. They roughly look the same sort of height. So you could potentially use the panels. So thank you so much for watching. As I said, I do use affiliate links, so please do use those to support my channel. I really do appreciate everyone that does use them. I am nearing 1,000 subscribers, which I am so pleased about. So thank you all for your support. I will be doing a giveaway nearer the time. And yeah, like and subscribe, share, comment, do all that good stuff. And all that's left for me to say is thank you again for watching, and I will catch you soon. Take care, guys. Bye.